What's going on, guys? ChillisFM here, taking a look at Hitmontop in the Ultra League. This is one that you have to max out to level 50. You want it as close to the hundo as possible. So I invested a ton of dust in this Pokemon. Now, it does have a big buff this season with Triple Axle. It is currently rank 29 in the Ultra League, but that only makes it the 5th best fighter, right? We got Cobalion, Virizion, Poliwrath, and then Double, which isn't actually a fighter, but it does have a fighting type fast move, all ranked above it. So, is it worth the investment? I wanted to find out. I was able to climb with this team, so let's take a look at the team. In the lead, I am running Alolan Muck, not a Pokemon you see very often. However, I do think it's still really good if it can dodge the Steel types. Really, Steel types wallet, so you gotta dodge the Steel types, especially things like Cobalion and things like Steelix. On the save swap, I am running my own Cobalion to lure out whatever their best answer for fighting is. And then, of course, as my closer, Hitmontop, counter, Triple Axle, and Close Combat. I did look at Triple Axle and Stone Edge as well, because it does have good wins with that as well. But I think Close Combat is just too hard to give up. Close Combat hits so hard in all neutral and super effective situations, you're going to want Close Combat. So without any further ado, let's jump on into some of these battles. Go ahead and leave that like, leave a comment down below. Your favorite emoji really helps out the algorithm. All right, so here we are. I did run into plenty of Steel types on the lead in these sets. Plenty of really hard counter teams, but some of them I was able to turn around thanks to Hitmontop. So here it is, a Poliwrath to answer for my Cobalion. Very bad, right? Very bad. We're going to get the second Sacred Sword off. And I know that Hitmontop's not going to have a great time against that Steelix if they still have two shields, right? Because those breaking swipes start coming through, they start dropping your attack, and it just gets harder and harder to get through it. Yes, you have Triple Axle, but I believe Steelix actually outpaces to the breaking swipes, or it's pretty close. So you're not really going to ever get your attack up above what they're debuffing. So with that knowledge, I go ahead and take a shield from them, and then we're going to come in with a Muck. And I'm going to go ahead and just soak whatever this is going to be the Scald. Now I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of an energy lead on my Hitmontop. In the back, they have a Shadow Ampharos, and here is where Triple Axle is so good. We're going to go ahead and throw it. This is going to actually connect, and it's going to boost my attack. So now these counters are just shredding through this Ampharos. They're not going to be able to get to two moves. So I am going to go ahead and shield it up. They did go for the Trailblaze. They realized they're not going to make it to a second move. And now they come in with the Steelix. Now, I don't throw first. They do get off this breaking swipe, but Hitmontop actually bulky enough to survive it. Not that that's super bulky. It's not a hard hitting move, but it is enough. I still had to go for the bait there. We're going to get that Triple Axle off, and then we are going to make it to this close combat with like 1 HP remaining. And at this point, the game is just over because my Mug is too healthy. They're not going to be able to Focus Blast it, and that's going to be GG's. Well played. Let's go. All right, into the next battle. Muck up against, the hardest wall that we could see, right? Cobalion, we're going to be safe swapping into our own Cobalion. And we are met with a Jellicent. Absolutely horrible, right? We can chip away the Stone Edges at least. Like, we do have a move that hits for neutral versus if I safe swapped in Hitmontop, we would only be doing resisted damage. So this is the better of the two matchups, though it's still very bad. They're going to hit me with the Shadow Ball, Cobalion, nice and bulky. We're going to tank that, no problem, and make it to another Stone Edge. This will be putting them at least into the yellow, not too far from the red. We might actually get to the red, yep, with the double kicks. So that's pretty nice, but there's no way that we ever take switch here. So I'm going to go ahead and let this Surf come through. Let my Cobalion go down. I am going to be real aggressive here with this Muck. I know that both of my charge moves are resisted going into that Cobalion, double resisted for the poison type moves, single resisted for Dark Pulse, but maybe I can get shields down with Hitmontop and I can snipe with a hard hitting Sludge Wave. And yes, I am running Sludge Wave very intentionally on this team because of, like, I don't know, Acid Spray is just not how I like to play, and first of all, and just people don't expect a Sludge Wave. So we get them nice and low with the poison jabs. We snipe with a few counters in the back, a Pidgeot. And it's like, yeah, that's GG's, right? But no, I got an energy lead and we have Triple Axle, which will be hitting for super effective. Now they are obviously going to be going for the Feather Dance. I still have to shield. Hitmontop is not bulky enough to tank it, plus the wing attacks is not going to happen. So we do throw up the shield there. We make it to this next Triple Axle. I think a close combat from here would nearly KO. Triple Axle wouldn't, even though it is super effective, it hits slightly less hard. But still, we grab the second shield and all of a sudden, that window is opening up. I'm going to go ahead and bank a close combat, come in, throw the Dark Pulse with my Muk. I should have gone with Sludge Wave to ensure the KO, but with the Dark Pulse, it is enough to KO, and I'm going to make it to this Dark Pulse against their Cobalion, and that just guarantees the game. If the close combat wasn't KOing before, it for sure is now. We are going to win CMP with our Hitmontop. Close combat coming through, and that's going to be GG's. Well played to my opponent. Absolutely the hardest counters that I could see, but Hitmontop able to grab shields, and that's all we needed to win that game. So GG's, well played to my opponent. Probably one of the best games that I have played so far this season. All right, into the next one. This is a very common core, right? The Alolan Sandslash Golisopod core. Not so bad for Cobalion though, because of you could just go straight Stone Edge against this Golisopod, and with just the tiniest bit of energy lead, I should be able to win switch here. Now, I didn't throw on good timing in the first one. I'm going to make sure I'm throwing good timing after this. They're going to be throwing another Liquidation. I'm assuming they're running X-Scissor as their second move, which would be double resisted. I'm going to make it to the next Stone Edge. That's going to grab the second shield. Now, Cobalion gets to the third Stone Edge. One double kick quicker. It does not take 5 to the third one. It only takes 4 double kicks. So we make it to the third Stone Edge. We win against the Golisopod, and technically like the 2 shield, but they didn't throw the second move. But regardless, we got switch, and that's beautiful because now we're doing double super effective damage onto this Alolan Sandslash. They hit me with the Ice Punch, no big deal. In the back, it's going to be a Tapu Fini. All I have to do at this point, bank a close combat, come in with Muk, and then just shield up whatever they throw, right? If they want to bait with Surf, that's fine. They're not going to make it to a Surf and then a Moonblast, so we might as well just respect the Moonblast. And they do bait with the Surf. That's fine. That's really fine. We have Sludge Wave, right? Like, this thing is gone. We had the close combat banked. There's no way that the Sandslash is ever taking out my Hitmontop, and they know it. And that's going to be GG's, well played. All right, into the next battle. Muk, like the Steel types. I'm telling y'all, I saw plenty of them. I promise they're not all Steel type leads throughout the whole video, but there was a lot of them. So again, like Nightmare Swap, we see a Ghost type. They are running Shadow Claw, which is much worse than if they were running Dragon Breath. But I think this is the one. I don't think that they have Shadow Sneak. No, they don't have Shadow Sneak. So they are having to chip away with Dragon Claws instead of throwing Ancient Power, which would be double resisted. Sorry, my hair is just weird today. So we're going to be able to chip away at them, but still, I don't think we can necessarily win switch. I think that Cobalion wins the zeros here. I think this is the one that I kind of make a misplay. So go for the Stone Edge here, which puts them into the red. I need one more Stone Edge. Okay, no, I do go for it. Okay. So this would be lethal, of course, but they're just going to throw Open Shield. That's perfectly fine. They could Shadow Claw me down before I make it to another move. I will make it to the Sacred Sword. I'm hoping that maybe they lost count. Maybe. But no. They're going to go ahead and eat that. I will get a Poison Jab down. I'll have to eat a couple Dragon Claws. We do get denied there. I don't think it's really going to change anything. They're still going to get the same amount of Dragon Claws off. I don't think they survive with like 1 HP and get a third one. Or fourth one. Maybe they do get a third one. I'm not sure. Dragon Claw coming through. No big deal. We're not shooting up anything here. Okay, so they do get a third one, but that Poison Jab wasn't going to take out anyways. This time I do decide to stay in. I should have probably sniped here. In the back, it's going to be a Tapu Fini. So again, like hard walled. But let's see what Hitmontop can do. Let's give it a chance. We're going to go ahead and boost our counter damage with the Triple Axle. No chance that they're ever shooting the first one, so we might as well just throw it immediately. Now these counters are doing, honestly, as much as the water guns are doing already. So I'm going to shield up the Surf. They don't need to go for Moonblast. We're glassy enough. Surf will do the job. I'm going to farm up close to back-to-backs, and I'm just going to full send it. I'm hoping that this close combat is enough because they are at the Surf right now, and they survive. One more counter. That's all we needed, but they do survive. Still, this game is not over. All they have left is Registeel, and they do actually go for the Moonblast there, which I mean, they were only going to get one move off, so that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and throw this close combat. No reason not to. I'm going to do a couple more counters, and then I'm going to pivot out. I'm forcing them to throw energy here on the Muk. Like, maybe they could, like, lock on down. I didn't think so. And they make the perfect undercharge right here. I'm telling y'all, this is perfection for them. They undercharge, they get the lock on down. I'm 2 counters away. and they make it to the Focus Blast after 1.5 counters. They needed 3 turns. I needed 4. And that's going to be GG's. Well played. Like really, really well played. Great undercharge on their part. Not much I could do there. But still, like, that was triple hard counter. We still made it very close. All right, Heliolisk lead. I love Heliolisk. I actually ended up hitting Veteran with Heliolisk. I don't have those sets in a video, but I do have a feature of the team that I used, and I will link that up here. Anyways, Gliscor safe swap. So this team is triple week 2 Gliscor. This is kind of where I want to see it. And here's always been my beef with Gliscor in the Ultra League. You're never going to be able to Night Slash a fighter. Never. So you kind of have to land the Earthquake against these fighters. And I'm just going to shield, and I'm going to grab shields back. So I do throw my second shield on the Earthquake there. I've already grabbed 1 shield. They actually showed at the first Stone Edge, which was interesting, but it's fine. We're going to go for the Sacred Sword. They survived with 1 HP right there. Okay. So they were 1 wing attack away from the Quake. I was able to snipe with the Amok. It would have been based on what people call new mechanic if I stayed in. Maybe I should have just stayed in. I don't know. But I come in with Muck, and we actually see their third here. We see a Buzzwole. And I actually agree with this play. Like, a lot of people are watching this because they know my backline. They're like, why did they do that? Well, because of Heliolisk up a shield wins against so much. In fact, you're gonna see it put in crazy work right here. The Breaking Swipe comes through. I'm gonna go for the triple axle because of this will be putting my attack back where it was, and they do need to shield this up. Now, if they go for the grass type move here, it would be enough to KO my Hitmontop. So instead, I'm gonna catch it here on my Cobalion. You can see, like, even resisted, it did a chunk of damage. And we're gonna throw the Sacred Sword, take them out. Buzzwole was not quite at a move. I should be able to counter them down before they make it to the superpower. And that's gonna be GG's. Well played to my opponent. So their strategy, honestly, it almost worked. Heliolisk is good, guys. I can't preach it enough. Like, it's very underrated. I know a lot of people just don't have it right now, so I hope it is back in the spawn pool pretty soon. But yeah, it's worth it. It doesn't need to be that XL. Mine's like level 42, 43, something like that. Anyways, Pidgeot lead. A horrible lead for my backline, and we call the Feather Dance and we get it wrong. Unfortunate. They're going to come in with Cobalion now. This matchup is not necessarily what you want it to be. I'm going to go triple axle here, and I was hoping, like, okay, we'll triple axle once, we'll counter all the way down, we'll have a triple axle banked for that Pidgeot. Yeah, they're in trouble. Oh, we got them here. Well, no. We gotta throw this next triple axle. Otherwise, we're gonna be giving up a shield. So, it's a good matchup. It's not a great matchup. We do win it in every even shield, but we don't leave it with energy. So I'm actually going to bring in Cobalion here. We are only taking neutral, so this isn't a horrible matchup for Cobalion. I showed up what I thought was going to be a Brave Bird, and instead they Feather Dance. But it's still fine. Stone Edge is still going to be taking out. It just means Sacred Sword. We're not going to be able to Sacred Sword and double kick down. So I go for the Stone Edge. They shield it. Okay, so they're definitely weak to fighting in the back. I am going to go ahead and shield this up as well. And they do full send the Brave Bird. And then we see a Virizion coming, and I'm like, what? I thought you were weak to fighting in the back. Anyways, we're full sending the Sludge Wave, and that's why we run Sludge Wave right there. 100%, that's why you run Sludge Wave. So that's really all we needed to win this. Well, I shouldn't say that, because this is going to come down to a CMP. It should come down to a CMP. And Cobalion and Virizion have the same attack stat. So it's based on IVs. If theirs was a raid IV Virizion, they would have just won if they shielded that. But I'm assuming that they know that they have a low attack and that they wouldn't win CMP, so they let it go through. Anyways, Pidgeot comes back in. We do outpace to 2 more Sacred Swords, and that's going to be GG's. Well played. All right, Muck into Shadow Dragonite. So we're both going to be doing a lot of fast move pressure. This is where we want to see this. This is one matchup where I would say Acid Spray would be nice, because you can just build an Acid Spray and then Poison Jab down. They actually superpower me. Wow. Yeah, definitely did not expect that. So now my Muck is very low. I'm going to be answering this Relax with my Hitmontop. Yeah, so like Hitmontop is good if it's at even energy or if it has an energy lead. But behind at all, it just doesn't feel near as good. And here's an example. They're going to make it to another body slam. I have to give up a shield if I want to keep this thing alive, which I have energy. I want to keep it alive. We'll throw up a shield. That's fine. If the Dragonite comes back in, we're going to be able to grab the shield back with the triple axle. Plus, we'll be doing some nice counter damage since these counters are double boosted. And of course, that's going to grab a shield. I decided actually to pivot out though, because if they farm down, they get to back-to-back superpowers, I'm just in trouble. So instead, we're going to go straight for the Sacred Sword here. Won't quite KO. Does put them in the red. If they bait here, I think they get to a superpower. And they do bait. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. But they swap out. I'm like, what happened? What just happened? I don't know. Maybe my energy counts were off. Maybe they didn't think they were going to make it there. I thought they were going to make it there. So Reggie still comes back in. We're going to actually be able to connect with both these Sacred Swords because they are more afraid of me getting to the close combat, which is fair. I would make it there. They're going to overperform just slightly, and then they're going to be throwing the Focus Blast, but the game is over at this point because we can just counter this down before they make it to another Focus Blast, and then again we'll just fast move everything down, right? That's going to be GG's well played to my opponent. I do think that they had to move anyways. Regardless, GG's well played to all my opponents. Yes, we got a 5-0 there, we got a 4-0 the next set, so that's what helped with a lot of these gains. Of course, there was some battles in between. I don't remember how many sets this was over. I want to say it was 4 sets. It might have been 5 sets. So either way, like really good climbs, 140 elo in 4 or 5 sets. Very happy with it. Set me up to make it to veteran the next couple days with my Heliolisk team. All right, so final thoughts on Hitmontop. It's good. Is it worth the 500,000 dust that I had to invest in it? Probably not. There's so many other good, viable fighters out there. Like, I wouldn't recommend building it before you build a Cobalion, before you build a Virizion, but it does have a unique role. It's able to boost its attacks, and it's able to fight back against some of its harder counters. Anyways, that's going to be it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my channel members for your support. And until next time, this is ChillisFM, reminding you to always keep pushing forward.